Yo, what is good YouTube? Magdubs here, back with another video, guys. We have some breaking news, notes, observations from day one of Pittsburgh Steelers training camp. A lot of things I want to go over and make sure you guys are up to date with all these, news analysis and breakdowns. And now the one major player that standed out from day one was Kenny Pickett, the young quarterback out of Pitt, coming into year two, is really trying to take that leap up into being a very reliable quarterback in the NFL and someone who could potentially break out as a star. Now, he looked good in day one. His arm strength looked, pretty good. He had a couple of deep balls down the sideline to Deontay Johnson, and there was one in particular where Deontay Johnson slipped, fell, grabbed his knee for a second momentarily, but then eventually got back in and started practicing pretty much right after, which was a very good sign. Now, there was a couple of other guys who really flashed and actually really struggled on day one, and we're going to get into all of that in this video. Before we do that, make sure you guys do me a huge favor. Hit that like button really quick. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, because I will be covering the entirety of the NFL offseason, which includes the rest of training camp, free agency, trades, and I will be live streaming games as well. So join the family, turn on post notifications so you're notified every time we post a video. But without any further ado, let's get back into the video. So another guy who really stood out defensively was Elijah Riley. Now, this guy wasn't really expected to be, thrown into the fire. He wasn't expected to come in here and make a huge difference, but it looks like he is going to, he's at least starting to make a name for himself, make some noise, and, kind of turn up. Like, he's looking pretty good. He had an interception yesterday on Mason Rudolph, one of the first interceptions of the entire training camp period. He was in the slot, so he's trying to, win that starting slot job. Now, we all thought that it was going to be, Chandon Sullivan in slot, or maybe, who else was it? Chandon Sullivan or Duke Dawson or Elijah Riley. One of those three guys are going to win the starting slot job. We all thought it was going to be Chandon Sullivan, who they had signed during the draft. But the surprising thing was, guys, that Duke Dawson was actually with the first team. Not Chandon Sullivan, not Elijah Riley, but Duke Dawson, the former, I believe, second-round pick out of New England. I think he went to New England. He was actually starting in the slot for them, which was very interesting. I'm not really too sure if that is the long-term plan or if it's a true competition where all of these three guys will get an opportunity to actually win that job. So that will be very interesting. But with that being said, Elijah Riley did come out on top of day one with that nice little interception to start practice. Another corner who looked good was Joey Porter Jr., man. He started off strong. He's going to be, a very fascinating player at the NFL level. I mean, his length, athleticism are, pretty much elite at times. And for them to get him in the second round was absolutely a steal. And he displayed some great coverage on day one, in particular against Calvin Austin, who had a very tough day today for a wide receiver. Had a couple of drops, had a couple of, deep throws to him where he just couldn't get to him. And I do expect him to, get back into full action. He is a little bit rusty, didn't play at all last season. So let him get into the swing of things. And I do think Calvin Austin, he was my pick to be a breakout player this year. We'll see if he can continue to develop and continue to get better. Just get that rust off him because, he is definitely a guy who can impress. But like I said, Joey Porter Jr., Elijah Riley so far looks so good. And like I said, Duke Dawson got the first team reps at slot corner, so that is very interesting as well. So I think the starting corners right now were Patrick Peterson, Joey Porter, Levi Wallace on the outside, and then you had Duke Dawson running with the first team in the slot, and I believe Chandon Sullivan and Elijah Riley were rotating in the second unit. Now, another rookie that looked incredible is Nick Herbig, a guy who they drafted in the 4th round of this year's draft. His brother is currently on the team, Nate Herbig, as a offensive lineman. But dude, Nick Herbig was absolutely incredible. Got to the quarterback a ton of times. I think he had 2 sacks in one practice already. So this is a guy who they are really high on right now. You got Landon Roberts, you got Cole Holcomb, you got Alex Highsmith, but Nate Herbig, or Nick Herbig I should say, is a guy who they have a lot of faith in. They want to, mold him into a great player down the line, because even though you have TJ Watt, even though you have Alex Highsmith already signed to an extension, it would not hurt to have, some depth, a guy that can come in, and be reliable. Like, let's say Alex Highsmith or TJ Watt unfortunately have to miss a game or two. I think they have a guy here, Nick Herbig, that can come in and be an impactful player from day one. So we've seen a lot of good things from day one of Pittsburgh Steelers training camp. Most importantly, Kenny Pickett's arm looks good, made a bunch of nice throws. You got Elijah Riley impressing a lot of the coaches playing in the slot, so he's looking good. Duke Dawson got the start. Comment down below, guys, who do you think will be the starting slot corner? When it's all said and done, when the start of the season is here, who do you guys think the starting slot corner will be? Let me know real quick. Also, do you think the Steelers team has what it takes to make a big run in the playoffs, or do you think they need maybe a couple more years of development for a guy like Kenny Pickett? But with that being said, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications so you're notified every time we post a video, every time we go live, because I told you I will be covering the entirety of the offseason, Steelers and the rest of the NFL, all the training camp videos. I got you guys covered every day from here on out. So join the family, and with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, comment down below, who do you think is going to start at the slot corner position at the start of the season? I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Today's video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. And if you love playing fantasy sports like football, basketball, baseball, and so many other sports, but also love being able to win money, you're going to want to stick around for this whole segment. Introducing Underdog Fantasy, the ultimate platform for fantasy sports lovers. Do you want to experience the thrill of drafting your team and competing for huge prizes? Well, look no further. With Underdog Fantasy, you get access to a wide range of fantasy sports, including football, basketball, baseball, and so much more. But here's what makes Underdog Fantasy stand out from all of those other apps. They've got quick and user-friendly drafting process, a unique and exciting game formats, fair and competitive contests for all skill levels, and attractive bonuses and promotions. Not only can you draft teams and compete with others, but you can also play a game of higher and lower, which is personally my favorite thing to do on there, but you can potentially win 20 times the money you put down. And if you use code MattyDubs when you sign up, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. And what that means is basically when you deposit, let's say $100, they'll give you a free $100 to use and play with. Click the link in the description to get started, or head to the website right now to start dominating the fantasy world. And don't miss out on all the fun. Be a part of the Underdog community starting now. And don't forget, if you use code MattyDubs, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Let's get started. Get into drafts with me starting today.